This is the Trust Your Change Guide version 1. This is not a meditative guide, but more of a mental and kind of emotional practice, leaning into trusting the changes you're experiencing within you, within your awareness about you, your power, your safety, your value, and who you are. So take a moment. Allow yourself to get comfortable, settle in a bit. Maybe give yourself a yawn and a stretch. Because it's entirely okay to have anxiety about the changes you're experiencing. A change in point of view and a change in how you feel about situations is normal. So if you could, would you give yourself permission to change on your terms? And if you could do that, when would you give yourself that permission? What's that feel like for you? Now, if you could, would you acknowledge that it is safe to change based on your terms? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And how does that feel? And now, if you could, would you trust your changes a little more? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And check in with how that feels for you. Because fundamentally, trusting ourselves is a choice. And when we talk about trusting ourselves, we're trusting that our awareness is valid. Our experiences are valid. Our feelings are valid. And that we have the right to choose whom we receive feedback from, whom we receive influence from. And ultimately, you reserve the right to make the final decision for you about what's appropriate for you. And these changes that are emerging in you and your points of view and how you view yourself and others, you have all the right to trust them. You have all the right to have some skepticism about it, and to let them prove themselves to you as well. Because change can be a challenging experience sometimes, and that's okay. So if you could, would you give yourself permission to explore trusting the changes you're experiencing? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And how does that feel? So now this is all about building a little more trust in your experience in the validity and safety of your changes. And that means giving yourself permission to trust the change, to explore the change, and discover what it's like for you and understand for you what is real and true for you. So this concludes this version of the Trust the Change Guide.